First things first, we can never control what we can't define. And I want to talk just for a couple of minutes about the whole concept of definition, because it's quite critical to your marketing success. Well, to your success as a business person, actually. Why is it so important? And why can we never be in control of what we can't define? Simply because if we can't define it, we don't know what we're dealing with or talking about. It's that simple. The number one challenge for human beings is the fact that we can't really define much at all. When asked to define something, why it works, why it happened, we focus instead, most of us anyway, on the tangible effects. We describe what we can see, hear, touch, taste and smell, how it works and how it makes us feel. But these are not the same things. Description is not the same as definition. Remember, we're dealing with people here, so that means we're dealing with behaviour. And when we're dealing with people, a definition and behaviour, a definition needs to be a statement, a simple statement of cause and effect, a relationship, a process and a result. So we define why things happen and why things work. And for example, our business mission statement should be a very succinct statement of why we're in business. A description, on the other hand, is a statement of effect only. We describe how it works or how it makes us feel. For example, here, your business vision is a description of how things will be when you are achieving your business mission, why you're in business. So let's turn to marketing. And the definition of marketing that I find most useful is simply this: identify a need and find or create a way to satisfy that need profitably. However, there's a problem, because this definition has little or no emotional fulfillment to it. There's just not an emotional dimension here at all, unless it continues to be an unsatisfied need when stress and fear and anxiety are going to soon become prevalent. We need to look at why people buy, and that means that they usually have an unmet need that's demonstrating in some way, manifesting itself as some form of fear of loss, lack of control. Needs define markets, and that unmet need causes them stress. But no matter how much they need what you're offering, until they want it, they won't buy it, especially if they're a new customer. Selling, on the other hand, is emotional. Need alone, just need, is not enough to overcome fear and suspicion, especially on the part of a stranger. If your prospect is worried about what you might do to them, they'll be so busy watching their backs in case you stab them or shaft them that you'll never get them to focus forward onto what you can actually do for them. The first level of perceived risk for any buyer is not your product, service, or even your price. It's you and your motive, why you're trying to get them to buy in the first place. So emotion comes first, reason comes second, because emotion alone is not enough either. We need to feel a bit of security that there's a logical, rational reason for us buying this thing. In fact, all persuasion is about shifting the other person's perspective or viewpoint to a more acceptable and accurate point of view, one that reflects reality. Whether you're a parent, a teacher, a suitor or seller, it doesn't matter. It's all the same process when you boil it all down. Let's take this example. Here's you on the right in red. You're the seller. You can see an accurate perspective of the process here that it leads to success for the prospect on the left-hand side here in blue. So you can see a simple step-by-step process up the staircase to success. What they can see is a steep wall that's sheer and has no kind of grip. It's too high to jump. They can't climb it. They can't get a foothold or a handhold. So the path to success seems to them impossible. It's formidable in the least. So what's the answer here? Well, as the seller, what has to happen is that we need to get them to move their perspective, shift their perspective to a better, more accurate perspective or angle. The problem is they have an investment in what they can see. I mean, they can perceive what they're looking at as a sheer wall that they can't scale, they can't climb it, they can't leap it. It's just out of reach for them. Now, they're not going to suddenly, because you say, look, come over here where I am and you'll see things differently. Why would they? They can see what they can see, and they're more likely to want to stay where they are than come to where you're standing, because they don't trust you at this point. So what we have to do is overcome their fear with empathy. Now, that's a simple process because it means you have to go to them. You have to show them that you can stand in their shoes and say, oh, yeah, okay, I get it. It looks pretty impossible, but listen, why don't you come over to where I was standing, and there's a whole different viewpoint there. You'll see it totally differently. Well, they're still unlikely to do that. What we really need to do is do it in stages, small baby steps. Eat the elephant one bite at a time. Our first priority in this case is create hope. And we do that by moving to them and then leading them just a little to the side. At this point, from this angle, they'll be able to see the profile of the staircase, the steps. That will give them an awareness that there is a better viewpoint, a better perspective, a better angle of looking at this situation. And then you have an easier task of moving them around to where you can actually create a vision of what things can be like from them, what their experience can be like. You can give them the promise of fulfillment that's possible with your product or service. There are 4 performance factors that determine the success or failure of your market communications, especially your advertising. Let's just look at each of those 4. First is layout, the appearance of your communications or ads. The copy, the words you use in those communications. Your offer, the promise of fulfillment in your communications. Not just the benefits, but the experience, how they're going to feel about it. That's more important because they really don't care about anything else than how it's going to make them feel. And finally, audience, the people who can and will respond to your offer, if you can make that offer effectively. The question I have is, can you arrange these 4 factors in order of relative importance? Now, it's a bit hard in a recording to have a discussion, so let me do that for you. The 4 performance factors in order of importance are these. Number 4, layout. If you get it right, if you get the layout right, you'll enjoy up to 50% better results from your market communications and especially from your advertising. Now, a 50% increase just like that is an extremely valuable thing. Anyone would give their right arm for a 50% increase in their marketing and advertising and sales results. Number 3 actually in order of priority is copy. And you can get up to 250% better results when you get it right. But look what happens when we get to the offer. If we can get that right, you'll enjoy up to 2,000% better results. And the audience targeting, if you get that right, you're going to get up to 2,500% better results when you get it right. So a couple of questions implicit in this, aren't there? For example, which are the 2 highest leverage and which are the 2 lowest leverage factors? Well, the 2 highest are obviously audience and offer. That leaves copy and layout as the 2 lowest leverage. Now, here's the thing. It's your business. No one is more capable or in a better position for you to get the audience targeting and get the offer formulation right than you. The other 2, on the other hand, the copy and layout, require talent, require skill, require know-how. And unless you're a graphic designer or an art director or a professional copywriter, these are the 2 factors that you are least competent or equipped to handle successfully. And they're the 2 lowest leverage anyway. I mean, they're only a fraction of the importance of the other 2. Besides, you can easily get someone, usually from the media that you choose to promote with, to either give you free or very low cost copy and layout that will do the job if you've got your audience and offer right. So it's a pretty much obvious conclusion that we can draw here. You as the business owner need to be focused on the audience targeting and on formulating an irresistible offer. Don't worry too much about the copy or the layout. If your offer and audience targeting are really right, the ads will work almost regardless. So let's focus back on market communications. But let's be precise. Let's define what we mean by market communications. It's really important to understand these things. We also need to clarify which it is, because there are two terms that float around the marketing industry for this field. There's market communications and marketing communications. Now, are they different? Are they the same? Well, they're usually used interchangeably, but let me put it this way. Mindset is everything in determining your goals and your objectives and which strategies you're likely to use. And for me, I've always found that mindset is very much tied up with definitions and the way we use words. For me, the term market communications is much more profitable and much more beneficial and much more focused than the term marketing communications, because market communications means communicating with your target audience, your market, the people that you're targeting. Marketing communications puts the focus on your marketing, communicating your marketing. That's not the people, that's the message. So when we're talking about market communications, that's what we're talking about, focusing on the people, the primary audience, the target market. And market communications is nothing more, nothing less than how you communicate on every level with your target audience. So here's your business vehicle. It has 4 wheels, it has an engine, all the usual stuff. It also has, hidden in there in the cutaway, a payload, which is your products and services. Please understand that your products and services are not your business. They're not the vehicle, they are the payload that's carried to market by your vehicle. Now, your business vehicle has 2 wheels in the front that steer and direct your vehicle, marketing and finance. They also have 2 wheels in the back that power your vehicle, and they comprise internal relationships, your staff, your partners, your shareholders, your family, and your external relationships, your advisors, your suppliers, your insurers, your lawyers, your accountants, your bankers, your landlord, the media. But here's an alarming fact. When most people, and I mean particularly small business people, talk about marketing, what they're really talking about is market communications. And that's just one of the 7 essential nuts holding your marketing wheel onto your business vehicle. So it's a pretty precarious position to be in. The question now is, how far do you think you'll go with just one nut holding your marketing wheel in place? But for most small business owners, that's too often the case. So let's have a look more closely at that marketing wheel and the 7 nuts that need to be holding it on. Now, yes, 1 or 2 of these nuts can be loose or even missing, and you can probably still get to market for a while, but it's an out of balance load, and it will soon result in that wheel coming off. I won't go into detail on these because I just want to get them identified so that you're aware of them, and we will do other webinars in coming weeks and months that deal with each of these. But the first is market research, to determine if you have an actual market, if there are people out there who need what you are planning to sell, or if you do it really right, you research first what their needs are and then you decide what you'll sell. Number 2 is product research. Number 3 is testing everything. Testing your market research, testing your product research, testing your pricing, testing your distribution, your market communications, and your sales. By the way, distribution is one of the most critical differences or differentiators between different business models. For instance, direct marketers, like, for instance, network marketers and party plan people, it's distribution that is the area where the real differences lie between them and conventional businesses. It's that simple and it's that narrow. Now, sales, there's some overlap between sales, practically, there's some overlap between sales and market communications, particularly in the area of advertising. Advertising, by definition, is your highest leverage sales activity, but it's also part of your market communications because it's a communication between you and your marketplace. So let's look more closely at what market communications really is and the kinds of activities that come under that heading. Market communications covers every aspect of your communications between you and your target market. Its purpose is to create a powerful emotional bond between you and your target audience so that every level of contact sells the next level of contact that you have with them, and they come to see you as the only true solution to their need. By the way, this is the little understood mission critical function of branding that too few people really understand. So let's look at the activities that come under the heading of market communications. Well, there's branding, obviously. Corporate identity, how you are seen and how you identify your business in the marketplace. Stationery and forms, collateral materials and sales aids, publishing, signage, vehicle livery, uniforms, packaging and product identification, labelling, visual merchandising, advertising, your internet presence, including websites, social media, social networks, local directories and review sites, and public relations. Now, just a quick note on public relations. It's not just about publicity. Public relations' most fundamental tenet is this: any organisation or entity continues to exist only with the common consent of the community or society within which it operates. If you lose that common consent of that society or community, you are history. Now, whether you're a political party, whether you are a religion, whether you're a company, it doesn't matter. If you lose that right to do business, that common consent of the community or society within which you operate, you are roadkill. And that's why when there are disasters and calamities like the BP catastrophe in the Gulf of Mexico, which is still ongoing and they're still trying to deal with it, simply because they got their public relations totally wrong, thought they could just whitewash it with publicity, when in fact they were not protecting their right to do business. And that is at heart what public relations is all about. Okay, so let's move on to the 7 magic M's of mesmerising market communications. Simply, it's a 7-stage process that has a cycle. It's a circular model. Okay, so it's in this particular illustration, it's counterclockwise. Doesn't really matter, but we move through the 7 processes in particular orders. Now, let's identify what each one of them is, and then I'll talk about the 2 ways in which we actually process this. Number 1 is our motive. We need to determine what are our motives in planning and implementing this communication. Pardon me. Whatever it is. What result do we want from it? Is it a formal written goal or objective? And is it quantifiable? Can we put numbers on it? Either volumes of units, volumes of sales, profits, whatever. Number 2 is our market. Who is our target market or audience? Where are they? What do they need? What do they want? Are there any existing emotional responses we can tap into? What are their motives likely to be? Is timing important to this group? Are there any taboos or sensitive issues to be considered? Number 3, the message. What do we want to say to this market? What details do we need to provide them? What do we need And what do we want them to do as a result of this communication? What terms or conditions will apply? What options do they have? Have we considered their specific interests, and have we identified benefits and emotional appeals? Number 4 is measurement. We need to plan ways to measure market and audience response ahead of time and build it into the communication itself. Questions that we need to ask include, will the measurement supply worthwhile information, or are we just gathering information for the sake of doing it? Will it be simple to collect and record? Can it be automated? Is the measurement device that we use, or devices, clear and unambiguous? Will it qualify genuine prospects and disqualify suspects? Will it help proper evaluation of our marketing mix? Number 5 is the media mix. And it always needs to be a mix of media. It's very rare that a single medium can achieve everything that we need to do. Now, the internet is a medium. It's a channel, really, that includes several media. But what combination of media will be needed to get our message to our market or audience effectively? Remembering that one medium is rarely enough to do the job. Will it reach most of our target audience or market? Is it specific or wasteful? Is it cost effective? Will it have impact, reach, and frequency? What are its limitations? What advantages does it offer? And how can it be used to maximum effect? Number 6 is the monitoring, using that measurement through feedback. Notice that the first left-hand side around to number 2, the market, and notice by now, I guess, that these numbers are out of sequence in terms of going counterclockwise. But the blue ones are the information going out, and the red arrows represent information feedback coming back to us. And that's only possible through measurement and monitoring. So we need to monitor the response to our communication using the inbuilt measurement device or devices that we've created. We need to know, is the message getting through? Is it getting through to the right people in the right way? Is there any confusion? Is there any resistance? Is it exclusive to us, or can our competitors benefit from our communications too? Does it work for only part of our market? If so, which ones and why? And can that be fixed? And finally, number 7, modification. We need to modify the whole cycle if necessary. We need to evaluate it and, where necessary, modify it continuously. What we need to do is determine whether we can improve our communication process. What changes will enhance our message, our audience market targeting, our choice of media, our measurement system, our monitoring system, our follow-up? Once we set this 7-stage process in motion, it becomes a simple matter to refine and improve all aspects of our market communication. All we have to do is persist in actually doing it. So let's look at those 2 processes that I mentioned before. First is planning. And in planning, we follow the numbers. Okay, let me show you what I mean. We start with our motive. We have to determine why we're going to do this, what it is that we want to get from the process. Then, number 2, we have to determine who our market is and what their needs are, what their interests are, what their existing emotional responses are, because existing emotional responses are the key to success in market communications. Trying to change an existing market response or create a new emotional response is almost impossible. It's crazy. It's always smarter to target an existing emotional response in your marketplace. From there, we move to the message, from the message to measurement, media mix, monitoring, modification, and then usually, because we focus so intensely on our motive and our market identification, that we then move back to the message. And how do we refine from the feedback that we're getting in from our measurement and our monitoring? What do we need to modify? Our message, our measurement, our media mix, and our monitoring and modification. Okay, the second process is implementation, when we actually put this into practice. In that case, we follow the arrows, again starting from number 1. So we start from our motive, our reason for doing this market communication, to our message, our measurement, our media mix, our market. We actually publish or print or broadcast or release or launch or whatever to the market. And then we monitor it, we modify it, and then we have a look at what needs to be done to refine the whole process from go to woe. And that's really what the process is all about. It's a two-pronged approach. It's a two-in-one approach, as I suggested in the promotional material. When you can get this right, when you understand it, when you follow it strictly and do it every time, no matter how insignificant what it is you're doing, and it applies to just about everything you do, remember, to your advertising, to your emails, to your articles, to your presentations, sales letters, you name it, anything to do with communicating with your marketplace, webinars, seminar presentations, sales presentations, all of these things need to be considered in this context to get the strategy right every time. And if you get this strategy working for you, you'll get unprecedented results that you can hardly believe. Now, there are downloadable resource notes that I think this is a 4-page set of notes. And you can obtain it from the Australian Small Business Network group on Facebook. The same place that you went, I think, to actually register. There are a couple of other resource ebooks and reports that you may find useful too in all of this. The one on the left, The Beginner's Guide to Online Business Marketing, Selling and Advertising, what they are, what they do, and how they connect. It's only a short one, about a dozen or so pages, but it nails the working definitions of all of these things. Not only does it tell you what they are and what they do, but how they actually interconnect, how they interact with each other, and why it's so important to have a handle on all of these. And the other one that's available for download, and there's actually a second one on advertising as well, why 90% of all small business advertising fails and how you can fix it. And there are actually 4 tests in this report that will serve as a wake-up call as to why so many small business people struggle to get any kind of results from their advertising. Finally, in the lead up to the end of January, I just wanted to remind you that if you're interested in this and in winning more market share, we still have a few places left in the live workshop and the 90-day follow-up group coaching program starting on the 1st of February. It'll be held in Manningham, and places are still available at $59.50 each, including GST and resource materials. That represents an 80% saving on our regular price when we do it, which is very rarely. So it's a 1-day live workshop plus a 90-day online group coaching, including webinars, question and answer sessions, all kinds of stuff, videos, workbooks, case studies particularly, and group coaching sessions. So I hope you'll take advantage if you're not already registered. It's a great opportunity at a fantastic price, and it will not be repeated at that price under any circumstances. That was a thank you for the help that I've had from the group. Okay, so if you're interested, you can register now at theprofitclinic.com.au. That address and everything else is in the downloadable resource notes, and you can get that now. They're ready and waiting for you now at the Facebook group, the Australian Small Business Network. Thanks for your attention and your participation, and I look forward to being with you very shortly.